Hi, it's Tuesday the 1st of April 2025. I'm continuing my walk along the Cambrian way. I've just spent the night in this old slate quarry. Today I'm doing about a 10-mile walk, so it's not very far, but there's a lot of steep climbing on this one, so it's going to take me a while. I'm heading towards a campsite just before the Cadair Idris mountain. Just arrived at my first high point of the day. I'm not going to try pronouncing these place names, I'm just going to put the names at the bottom of the screen. But from here I can make out the next part of this walk. I have to head down into the valley, that little ridge which crosses the valley. Then there's the first really steep climb of the day. I might have to use my hands going up there. I just have to climb up to just to the right of where the wood is, and then I go along this ridge up to that high point just there. So that's the first sort of really steep one, and then there's another one I have to use my hands, but after that it's just all downhill down to the campsite. So it'd be nice when I get up to there. Really nice views to start the day there. Right, time to do the first very steep uphill climb of the day. Yeah, it's quite steep, but not as difficult as I thought it would be. But this fence makes a useful banister for going up. It's about halfway. So from here it's just a gradual uphill walk to the next high point. Nice little stream on the way, which is quite handy for drinking water. I'm not going up there to admire the views today, it's a little bit breezy. I'll get nice views at the top, I think, anyway. This is looking towards the north, so this is the direction I'll be going in for the rest of the trip. I don't think I can make out Snowdon yet, but when I go to Barmouth, the next high point, I'll be heading for the Rhinog Mountains, and the first high point is Dinas. And I don't know from there, that's when I start to see Snowdon, so that'd be quite nice. I think the next high point is called Craig Portus, and from there I should be able to make out the rest of the walk for today. yeah, from here I can see where I'll be walking for the rest of the day. So from here I've just got to go down there up to the next high point there. Then I've got to cross the valley up to that next high point. And I know that it's a bit of a steep one, that, so I think I've got to start using my hands to go up there. But from up there, I think it's just following a ridge down into the valley where I'll be staying in the campsite tonight. And my map reading's not brilliant, but I think there must be Cadair Idris just over there in the distance. Steep climb of the day, and then it's all downhill to the campsite. Just heading down into the valley and the end of today's little walk. There's some amazing views of Cadair Idris heading down into the valley. There's a little, about half a mile stretch of this very busy road. It's not a problem, just got to keep in for HGVs if you see them coming up, but soon be at the campsite. Just arrived at the campsite. It's a nice campsite, but because we're in this big valley, everything's at a bit of a slope, so the tent field, a lot of it is a bit too slopey to put a tent up, but there's one or two good pitches around the edges. But I'm quite fortunate at the moment, it's just me and another tent, so I had a good choice of places. But it's in a really nice setting, the campsite. So tomorrow I'm heading up to the top. There's a path that goes from here up to the top, so it's quite a easy route to go up there tomorrow. And then I'll be heading down to Barmouth. Hope the weather stays like this. So until tomorrow morning, good night. So today is my last day on the middle section, and then it'll be the northern section from Barmouth up to Conwy, which is a very spectacular route. Today I'm doing about 11 miles. So the first 3.5 miles is going up to the top of Cadair Idris, and then it's just all downhill to Barmouth. Well, it's really windy up there, but not so windy now coming down off the mountain. Starting to see Barmouth over in the distance. Just approaching Barmouth, I can see where I'll be heading when I leave the town. I'll be following that big long ridge right up to there. I think that might be Dinas over in the distance. That's one of the high points I'll be going up to, and then I'll be heading to Llethe and then Rhinog Fawr, which is a really spectacular walk. But I'm only going to be doing a few miles that day. There's a lot of scrambling on that section. I'm just approaching Barmouth Viaduct, and this is it's a wooden viaduct for the railway that was built back in the 1860s, but unfortunately, because it's wooden, it needs a lot of maintenance, and I think it has been closed down in the past, but fortunately they keep it open now. But it'd be a shame if they did. Network Rail decided to shut it down one day. Just arrived in Barmouth, just going to check into my hotel. So tomorrow I'm popping back home for about a week, so I've got to do a couple of things, and also I want to do a bit of a kit swap, because I want to be as lightweight as possible for the last section. So I'll be back here in about a week's time to continue to Conwy. So until then, good night. Just arrived back in Barmouth. So this is the northern section of the Cambrian Way from Barmouth up to Conwy. And I'll be doing it over, I've broken it down into two sections. I'm going to spend 4 days walking to Bedgelert. Then I'm just going to catch the bus down into Porthmadog and spend a couple of nights down there. And then I'll be going back to Bedgelert on the bus to do the last stage to Conwy. Today I'm doing about an 11-mile walk. It's from here it's a gradual uphill walk up to a mountain called Llethe. And then on the other side of Llethe there's a lake where I'll be hoping to camp tonight. Some nice views overlooking Barmouth on the way out, and the estuary. I think it's pronounced the Mawddwy estuary. I'm hoping the cloud clears, because I'm hoping to get some nice views of Cadair Idris on the other side of the estuary on the way up today. Looks like I'm heading into low cloud, so I'm just going to enjoy the views before I head into the fog. Weather forecast for the next few days. I think today, tomorrow there might be an odd spot of rain, but generally I just think it's just going to be cloudy with the odd bit of sunshine. So it's quite warm as well today. When I went back home I did a bit of a kit swap to try and make my rucksack a little bit lighter for this stage. And I also swapped the tent around for a bivvy bag and a tarp. I'm going to try a bivvy bag for the rest of the walk for a bit of fun. I'm just trying that out because after doing the Cambrian way, I'm thinking about doing the John O'Groats to Land's End walk, and I'm looking for a shelter that's quite low profile. So I'm using a Rab Ridge Raider bivvy bag, which I think might be ideal for hiking this summer. First trig point of the day. I don't think I'll be getting many nice scenic views today, unfortunately. Hopefully tomorrow it'll be a bit nicer. So my next trig point is Dinas. And then I think after that, I'll be heading up to Bychan. Still a bit too cloudy to see Cadair Idris on the other side of the estuary, unfortunately, but it's clearing up a bit now, so starting to get some nice views. So just going to have a little break, then I just go down into a dip, and then it's up to Bychan. My last uphill walk of the day. Really nice views again from up on the top of Bychan. So now it's just a bit of a steep descent down towards a lake, and then I'll be looking for my camping spot. So this is tomorrow morning's route. That mountain there, that's Rhinog Fac, and just after it, that's Rhinog Fa. And in the morning, I'll be following that dry stone wall. There's a route that goes up to on the left of it. So I'll be going up to there, then down into the valley, then up to the top of Rhinog Fa. Where I'm hoping to camp tonight, there's a lake there. I'm going to butcher the Welsh language again. I think that's Llyn Hywel. And I might camp there. It's a very popular camping route, camping spot. But I might go down there instead. I think it's Llyn Perfedu. And I think it's a bit more of a sheltered area there, because the weather tonight, I think there's a lot of rain and a strong southerly wind, and I think if I go down to the second lake, it'll be a little bit more sheltered. Right, that's everything set up. There are some nicer camping spots by the lake, but where I am, it's out of the wind because it might get very wet and windy tonight. So I'll just put it here. So this is the very popular DD Hammocks 3 meter by 3 meter camo tarp. And I think that how I got it set up, I think this is what they call the Holden setup. So it's quite a good setup because because it's quite low. If the wind comes from the foot end, it's quite resistant to the wind, and you've got a nice open space here as well. I'll be probably trying other setups over the next week anyway. And this is the Rab Ridge Raider bivvy bag. It's a hooped bivvy bag, so it's a bit more luxurious than like the normal bivvy bags. So if the tarp does blow down during a night, I'll be nice and dry inside the bivvy bag, so it's not a problem. So yeah, just going to settle down now, listen to the radio. There is some internet access here. It's not very strong, but I think it might be enough to send emails. I'll just listen to radio for tonight. Then tomorrow morning I'll be heading up Rhinoch Fac. So until tomorrow morning, good night. That tarp setup I put up last night didn't last very long. About 5 minutes after making the video, a big blast of wind came down from that direction and just blew the whole lot down. So I've just shoved up this A-frame setup. That stood up quite well during the night. It was quite wet and windy last night actually. I'm just waiting for it to clear up a bit and then I'm going to continue. Right, that's everything packed up. It's starting to clear up a bit now, and the forecast for today is going to be dry and cloudy, a bit of sun I hope. It's still a bit cloudy, so it'll probably be a bit cloudy when I go up to Rhinoch Fac, but I think it's going to be clearing up this afternoon. So today's itinerary, I'm going up to Rhinoch Fac and then down to the other side, and then I'll be going up to Rhinoch Fac. Then I'm heading down to a place, I think it's pronounced Bychan. I think that there's just like there's a campsite and a big lake and a farmhouse, and then about a couple of miles after that I'll be looking for somewhere to camp again for tonight. Bit of a steep one going up Rhinoch Fac, but I'm not going very far today, so I've got plenty of time for going up the mountain. Just arrived at the top. It's a little bit foggy and breezy, so I'm just going to head down into the valley and then start going up to Rhinoch Fac. Oh, nice to get out of that low cloud. There's Rhinoch Fac just over there. So just going to head down into the valley, have a little rest and then continue onwards, and hopefully I'll get some nice views of where I'm heading for the rest of the day when I get up to the top. Just got down to the bottom, just going to have a little break. I think I've got 3 big uphill climbs today, and this is the second one going up Rhinoch Fac. bit breezy again, so just going to take a quick video and then start heading down the bottom again. I think Snowdon, or Mawddwy as I should now call it, I think it'll be over there. Just heading down to Bychan, and then after that I've got to go up to that mountain just there on the horizon. I think I'm going along the foot of that mountain, and then just after it I've got to go up to another mountain, and that's where I'm hoping to find a camping spot for tonight. Just arrived in Cambrian. There's nothing really here. I think there's a campsite there that might be open in the summer, but there's no, when I was here last year, there's no reception or anything, so I don't know if you can just go in and camp for free. There's just a farmhouse, so I think this is where people come up for a day trip up to the mountains, because there's a road goes down there. So just going to have a little break and then continue uphill again. Found a fairly usable camping spot. It's just before this high ridge. I'm going up there tomorrow morning, so I hope it'll be nice and sunny, because there'll be some really nice views up there. I've only put the tarp out because just to dry it out from last night. I'll probably put it away in a minute. I think it's going to be quite a quiet night, nice quiet dry night. So anyway, I think I'm getting quite a lot of footage now, so I think I'm going to wrap up this video now and then upload it when I get to Porth Mawddwy, and then tomorrow morning I'll be starting my new video. So thank you very much for watching my video, and I hope to upload another one soon. Bye.